Hey everyone, theswiftscripter here, and welcome back to our Unity tutorial series. I believe this is part 6 of the tutorial. So in this tutorial, I'll be exploring game mechanics like scoring and health systems, and this will make our game more interactive. We're gonna start doing this using scripting, so this will involve an overlap with the scripting series too, and I'll explain more in depth in the other series like always. Before the video starts, I'd like to quickly inform you guys to watch the previous video if you haven't already. Know where we're at right now, like how we got this, pretty sick material and things like that in this skybox. So just watch the previous video and I'll link that in the description below. Anyways, by the end of this tutorial, you'll have like a game where the player can collect points and lose health. So yeah, let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do is actually change the material of these two game objects. It kind of doesn't blend well with the entire environment. So something I'm gonna do is actually go here. We see platform material for both of these game objects. I'm gonna change the color actually. Let's change it to something, let's see, not black. Well, yes, black, but let's see. Does that work? Yeah, I guess that works. And something else I'm gonna do is just delete all these obstacles. I'll just go into hierarchy and delete it, just start fresh. And I guess we can have the player material for now. First, we're gonna set up our scene. Since we already have a player and the platforms, we're gonna add some collectibles so that the player can pick them up to earn points. Firstly, I'm gonna create a new game object in the scene, create a 3D object, sphere, zero it out, and keep it right here. I'm also gonna add a material for this too. And actually, the directional light's kind of bad. I'm just gonna delete this. So anyways, I'm gonna change the material of this, have this a yellow color so that it looks like a coin. So create a new material in this materials folder, call it collectible material, change the color to something yellow, then drag it here. We're also gonna rename it to collectible. And we're gonna resize it to make it like smaller on, let's see. The y-axis, no. Smaller on the x-axis, it seems. So 0.2, make it look like a coin. So looks pretty nice now, right? Fresh coin. Next, we're gonna create a script to handle the player's score. So select the player game object, which is right here. Then let's add a new script, call it player score. Press this, create an add, and then let's open this script firstly. And I'm gonna actually organize this so that's all in my scripts folder. I did this in the previous video, but just do this for the sake of organization. So we'll start by adding a public variable to manage our score. Call it public int score equals 0 for now. And then we'll also use this method called void on trigger enter. Press tab if you're getting this option, press tab. There is a reason that you may not get this option to like autofill, and there's an easy way to fix this. It's probably because you didn't extend Unity to Visual Studio, and the way you can do that, go to edit preferences and make sure you're on external tools, and then this you may have none. Instead, just change it to Visual Studio, like whatever. Don't change it to Visual Studio Code if you have that. Just change it to Visual Studio 2022 or 2019 or something like that. That's an easy fix. So go back to the script. What we're gonna do in this script is keep track of the player's score, and it checks it by seeing if the player collides with a game object tagged with collectible. So this is what I'm gonna type. If other dot game object. So if the other game objects tag, and the way we find the tag of it is by doing compare tag. In parentheses, we do this and then put it in the form of a string. So just insert quotations, then type the tag you want, collectible in this case. Then just add these braces. And we do score plus plus. As you can see, it auto completes. And we want to destroy that other game object. Destroy other game object. There's also another way you can do this. So I'm just gonna comment this out. And the way you can comment a group of lines is by holding Control or Command plus Shift, Control Shift, and quotations. You can also do this if other.game object.tag equals, and then in parentheses just do collectible. It's just an another way of writing this, then just do the same thing. So both of these are basically the same lines. Some people prefer to write it like this, others might prefer like this, but I personally like this, the first way I wrote it, so I'm just gonna delete all this. So save this, and the way we can check the game object's tag is by going to collectible, see where it says tag. Now, as you can see, there's no tag named collectible. All we'll have to do is just go and press add tag, then press or type collectible when you press the plus sign. Make sure it's spelled exactly as you wrote it in the script. This is how I wrote it, and this is how you typed it. Make sure it's the same. If you typed it wrong like this, collectibles, even a small typo like that will not work with this, because Unity and the language we're using, C# is very strict on its syntax, is very strict on its grammar. Even if you say game object, capital letter, this is not the same thing. See how there's a red squiggly line underneath it? We got to make sure the syntax is correct, have all of these match what they're supposed to. So make sure you have it named exactly as you want it. So save it. Now go to tag again and press collectible this time. Make sure is trigger is enabled. And there's a reason why I'm doing is triggered. So this basically, the player will be able to go through this object without the collider like affecting it, meaning no physics affects this game object. So it's just used for triggering events. And in this case, the event we're trying to trigger is for this to be added upon the player's score. And we'll also want to display the player score, and the way we can do that is by using UI, user interface. So right click in the hierarchy, go to UI, find where it says legacy, and then text. I usually use this, and then just name this whatever you like, but make sure it's organized and you can understand it. In this case, I'm gonna just name it score value text. And as you can see, this entire thing showed up. This entire canvas with the text is right here. So something we want to do is actually have it like in the top left corner or top right corner. I'm just going to make it top left, zero out the position, just move it down a little. And something I'm also going to do is have the game view at the side. So yeah, right there, it's showing up. Let's also change the color of the text so it's easier to find right there. And I'll increase the font size too. So something like that. And we can do score like this. And finally, we're gonna do something. We're gonna add a new script called score manager to rename this text element. The way we do this is just by creating new script, call it score manager. All right, close this. I don't know why I opened score manager. And now we're gonna create a reference to that text object. So public text score text. Now not text alignment, just text. All right, so let's see. All right, so this is an error you may find, and there's a reason for this. It's because we are not importing the correct library. We're not importing the necessary library for this. The library that is necessary for this is the Unity engine.ui. So using Unity engine.ui is the one necessary. And now, as you can see, there's no more error because we're referencing it here. So after the reference, we're gonna also do something that you may not know yet. We're referencing the other script, public player score. And what we want in the update method is have score text.text, as you can see, equals score plus player score.score. And we also want to make sure it involves toString so that it can be converted to a string which can be visible on the UI canvas. Okay, so now we want to attach this script to the canvas. So let's just drag this over here. And we'll want to make sure that you fill in these spots. So in this case, the score text is the one I just dragged. It's underneath the canvas. And then the player score script is underneath player, or yes, it's underneath player actually. Player score, and we'll want to drag it here. Now let's hit play to test it out. All right, as you can see, we picked it up and it updated the score. Next, we're also going to do something. We're going to create a player health script to manage the player's health and create a health system. So just select the player again and create a new script. And I know it looks messy, but trust me, it will all work in the end. So do player health, new script, create an add. We'll want to open this. And we're going to do something called public int health equals 3. So this time I'm actually going to add obstacles for this so that it shows that it affects like the health of the game object or the player in this case. And for that, what we'll want to do is not use on trigger enter because we're actually colliding with the game object. The player does not go through the obstacle, which is what it does to the collectible. It just interacts with it. So instead of on trigger enter, we're going to do something called on collision enter and press tab to finish that. So if collision dot game object, make sure it's lowercase, the first word, dot compare tag, so the game object we're colliding with, obstacle, then we're gonna do health minus equals 1. And then finally, we're gonna do something called, so finally if the player is dead, we're just gonna check for this. If the player's health is less than or equal to 0, then do debug. For now, let's just do debug.log player has died. So save this, go back. Let's just add one obstacle for now. Just create a new 3D object. Let's just add a cube, zero it out right there. And we're gonna tag this with obstacle. Let's add a new tag, call it obstacle in this case. You don't have to rename it, just it's only one obstacle where I'm trying to demonstrate. So then once you do this, let's start. Okay, I think the player's too slow actually. Let's go. And then, oh crap. Okay, well I'm too fast. Look at this environment. That's crazy. All right, hold on. Let me restart. Just have the speed set to something more reasonable. 1 maybe. All right. So the player is moving. So let's collect this. That increased now, and we should. Okay, I think my movement script is kind of bad. I'm just gonna, let's see. I'm just gonna have the player move. Just have the player move, touch it, and the player has died. Let's go. So that's what it printed. Since the player's health is 0 now, I'll have to adjust the movement script because it's kind of off. So if you watch the last video and don't understand the movement or anything, it's completely fine. I'll just quickly create a new player movement script right now. Great, so this is the new edited script I'm using for moving the player. As you can see, it seems a lot more simple because I added 2 new functions. Just have the code in here. Basically, what I'm doing is moving the player in the direction that the player is facing, so which is why I'm using rb.movePosition. Firstly, we'll obviously want to create a move direction, which is just going forward at all times based on the move vertical, which is pressing W or S forward or backward. This is the rotation, which basically rotates the camera or rotates the player object, which then rotates the camera in that direction. And that's pretty much it. This is a very simple script, and I'll explain more maybe later, but I don't think I need to because move position's fairly easy to understand. It just moves the direction that the rigid body is facing in that direction. So which is why we're doing rb.position plus the move direction. So copy this script. I'll even paste it in the description. But yeah, that's pretty much what we did for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll actually just demonstrate it one more time how it goes. So if you go this way, just hold the forward key. All right, boom. All right, the player will die soon. Boom. It's because our health is actually 3. So if we stop playing, it's 3 right now, so we can increase it as much as we want. But that's pretty much it for this video. I created a health system. We did it together, and we also managed a score value system using UI and scripting. Thank you guys so much for watching, and in the next video, I'll be going over main menu stuff, things related to that. We'll be using a lot of UI and buttons as well as HUDs, which I'll go over in the next video. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Bye.